What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be the top three best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Errol the True Spence Jr., and legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, will have and hold their press conference for their highly anticipated August 21st showdown, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the T-Mobile Arena. Today, it will be televised at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that said, Errol Spence, he announced the press conference. He stated that the highly anticipated press conference for the biggest fight in the world this year of 2021 is going to take place this afternoon. Well, that didn't go unnoticed, as undefeated rival, 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one fighter in the world, pound for pound, in Terrence Bud Crawford. With that said, we know the biggest fight in the world in the sport of boxing is Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. That's the fight everybody wants to see. This fight with Errol Spence and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is nothing to sneeze at. It's just that Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence fight came as a surprise. Manny Pacquiao in advanced stages of his career. Manny Pacquiao, 42 years of age, 62 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. He himself was knocked out 3 times. He stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was July of 2019 when he took on and defeated former undefeated unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith One-Time Thurman. With that said, not many people expected to see Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence in the ring. Most people expected to see Manny Pacquiao take a no slight but a lesser risky fight against 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, or somebody of a lesser degree, such as a tune-up fight. Okay. There was reports and talks that Manny Pacquiao could possibly face off against Terrence Crawford himself, June 5th. We had his promoter, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum. Bob Arum, he stated that Manny Pacquiao, could possibly face Terrence Crawford June 5th. That's a fight Terrence Crawford had been seeking out for the better part of 5-6 years, but it didn't come to fruition. Now Terrence Crawford and his team, they respond to Errol Spence's post by saying, no slight, no disrespect, but nobody wants to see this fight with Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. The fans are not excited. So that's what Team Crawford had to say regarding this fight. Now we know Terrence Crawford trainer and manager, Brian McIntyre. He was asked about Terrence Crawford not getting the Manny Pacquiao fight, and Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao agreeing to fight one another. And he, has some very, very choice words about this fight. He stated that he don't care about it. I'm going to paraphrase some of the words he used to describe the fight, but he said that Terrence Crawford will be back with a chip on his shoulder. Okay, but Terrence Crawford never left. But it's reported that Terrence Crawford, who, admitted on Relentless, the show Relentless on ESPN, the special with Hall of Fame undefeated retired icon superstar boxer Andre S.O.G. Ward, was on ESPN. It's a special called Relentless. That was before Terrence Crawford faced former IBF welterweight world champion British superstar boxer Special K. Kell Brook in November. And Terrence Crawford is admitting that he has yet to secure that big, massive, legacy, lucrative fight, career-defining fight. He's undisputed at junior welterweight, but he hasn't secured that big fight that he's looking for. And so with that, he's admitting that he hasn't garnered that fight. And so with that said, it seems like Terrence Crawford and his team are a bit salty or a bit jealous that they have not secured. It seems as if they're, a bit, salty that they were unable to secure this fight. And now, like I said, trainer Bomac, he said nobody cares about the fight. He said he's not answering any questions about the fight. Terrence Crawford don't give up about the fight. He doesn't give about the fight. And now you see that Errol Spence put this post up a few hours ago, and Team Crawford goes under the post on Errol Spence's post and says that no slight, no disrespect, but nobody wants to see this fight. The fans aren't excited. Well, I beg to differ. I believe the fans are very excited to see Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence, 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 wins by way of knockout. He's 31 years of age, stands at 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was December of 2020 when he took on defeated two-division world champion superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia. So with that said, Errol Spence, and he did so in dominating fashion, coming off of a 14-month layoff after suffering a horrific car accident just 12 days or 14 days after unifying the titles against two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. Okay, now the last time we saw Terrence Crawford in the ring was November 14th of 2020. Now it's being reported that he could possibly make a ring return October 23rd or October 22nd, which could possibly be a Friday, against Jose Zepeda. That is not a big fight. Now, we know Terrence Crawford is scheduled to be a free agent in October. So maybe this is a fight that Terrence Crawford is looking to have, simply to, bypass time until he's a free agent and exits Top Rank. Okay. I can understand that. I personally am, in agreement if that's Terrence Crawford, because Bob Arum, he stated that they could have secured a fight for Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, but they wanted the fight to take place in Abu Dhabi. And since the fight couldn't take place in Abu Dhabi because the investment group in Abu Dhabi decided to pull out, the money wasn't there. And so they could have put up the money, that being ESPN and Top Rank, but they didn't see it feasible. They didn't think that they could get a return on their investment. So they let the fight go by the wayside. And Errol Spence picked the fight up. Manny Pacquiao was in talks, in negotiations with Mikey Garcia, because Manny Pacquiao, he wanted to be reinstated as the WBA super champion. The WBA sanctioned body and Gilberto Mendoza, they put Manny Pacquiao as champion in recess, cited that, Manny Pacquiao inactivity and reluctantness to fight somebody in the top 10 ranking system. They placed him in champion in recess. They elevated Cuban star, regular WBA champion, Yordenis Ugas, to super champion. And most recently, Manny Pacquiao, according to reports, had petitioned twice to be reinstated for this fight with Errol Spence. So that way it could be a unification bout. And yet it was met with a no. They took a second vote this week. And they announced just a week ago that they were going to take another vote before the fight took place. But the following Friday, they immediately let it be known that they're not going to reverse their decision. They're indeed going to keep Yordenis Ugas as the regular champion. And this fight will not be a unification bout. It's just Errol Spence's belt. The IBF, WBC will be on the line. And the Ring Magazine decided to get involved, and they'll be on the line. So the WBA will not be on the line. So with that said, it's abundantly clear that this is a fight that Terrence Crawford wanted. This is a fight that Team Crawford wanted. Manny Pacquiao for the better part of 6 years, and it seems a bit that they are a bit, uneasy and a little bit, salty that the fact is that they haven't secured the fight, and that Errol Spence, in a short period of time, Manny Pacquiao walks away from negotiations with Terrence Crawford, and immediately a deal gets done over the hump in a short period of time for Errol Spence to fight Manny Pacquiao. This has been a dream for Terrence Crawford for the better part of 5.5, almost 6 years. Okay, since this was being talked about since 2014, right before Manny Pacquiao fought the biggest fight in the history of the sport of boxing against Hall of Fame, retired, undefeated, former 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, former pay-per-view king, the man known as Money, 50-0, Floyd Money Mayweather. Right, that took place, and after that, Manny Pacquiao lost. It was talked about again that Terrence Crawford could be an opponent for Manny Pacquiao, as we know that Terrence Crawford was signed to Top Rank. He was signed to Bob Arum, and they shared the same promotional company. They were under the same umbrella, so it seemed like an easy fight to get made. But we know Bob Arum, he took to social media, did an interview. He said he personally prevented the fight from coming to fruition. He blocked the fight because he didn't want to see Manny Pacquiao get hurt, because he know how the fight would end. And for two, he stated that, there was no money. He didn't want to put up the necessary money for Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao because he didn't think that he could get a return on his investment. So therefore, the fight never materialized, and now Errol Spence is going to get the fight. And the biggest fight in the sport of boxing is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And now We know that the negotiations, well, they never had true serious negotiations, but public negotiations. Terrence Crawford said he wanted a 50-50 split. Errol Spence said he wanted a 60-40 split, seeing as though he's doing the bigger numbers. He's the bigger draw, has the bigger brand. Terrence Crawford is unwilling to do so. He says 60-40 in my favor, or there is no fight. He said 50-50 at the very least, so there's no fight. And now, Terrence Crawford, he then stated that even a 50-50 wouldn't get the fight done. So Errol Spence has been, optimistic that the fight will still happen, but Terrence Crawford has essentially, shunned it. And so with that said, now Errol Spence got the biggest fight against Manny Pacquiao that Terrence Crawford wanted, and Errol Spence, he hashtagged and told Terrence Crawford to blame Bob. Now you get Team Crawford going on Errol Spence's post and saying nobody wants to see this fight. Well, I beg to differ. I believe that a lot of people want to see this fight, and there's a lot of excitement and a lot of buzz about this fight. And I believe, like I stated, that Team Crawford is a little bit salty that they have not secured this fight, period. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the Real Deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.